Salvete omnes and welcome to this video which will blow your socks off. Because watch this. That's right, Rome Total War has received the extended treatment just like Medieval 2 has. And because this video is for you Rome heads out there, which let's face it, is all of us, I'm going to take you through this beautiful achievement step by step. If you like what you're seeing, it would mean a lot if you left a like on the video and subscribe to the channel, and without further ado, let's get cracking. This is Rome Extended, an engine overhaul of Rome Total War, and yes, that includes Barbarian Invasion and Alexander. Rome Extended isn't really a mod then, but a complete rework of the engine, which allows for some incredible new experiences in this first ever 3D Total War game. As with Medieval 2 Extended, I cannot get over the mind-blowing feature of being able to zoom all the way in and all the way out on this campaign map. And we can even rotate it too, just like in the modern games. If your jaw is still on the floor, I would understand. Trust me, mine was laying there for a while. But some thoughts might be running through your head right now. Because wait, wasn't Rome essentially unplayable on PC? Wasn't the FPS absolute dog water if you even made it past the title screen? Well, yes, but let me tell you a little secret. REX updates old Rome Total War to a 64-bit engine with DirectX 11 support, which provides some miraculous results. In essence, and I know you've been thinking this already, this is Rome Remastered, but a Rome Remastered as it had been if the original game was kept the same, but ported to a modern format. And yes, that means infinitely better frame rates, camera movements and other features, but you guessed it, keeping that original UI intact. Seeing this game in full 4K with ultra high frame rates, but with that PC-centric UI, well, it's close to bringing a tear to the eye, isn't it? The main issue people had with the official Rome Remastered after all was that the UI had been completely reworked, and even though it has grown on me, I always did prefer the original. The second aspect was how much had changed visually on the campaign map. The new style looked good in its own right, but it was certainly a step away from the OG in a number of ways. And without offering a choice of the two, many felt as though they weren't really getting the Rome Remastered experience they wanted. With REX, I'm glad to say that we now have that and more, and it's such a special thing to say because I never thought it would happen. And even though Rome Remastered does run better than vanilla Rome, it still retains some performance issues, not running as well as it should on the battlefield, and even having some hitch issues on the map. The worst of these offenders related to the fact that somehow, the amount of UI artifacts on the screen severely impacts performance. This has become a massive issue in mods especially, where it's first and foremost the UI, not the amount of cities on the map themselves, that causes frame drops. Well, this seems completely fixed in Rome Extended. I'll admit we have yet to see an Imperium Surrectum style mod for REX, but the vanilla performance does seem to be much better than the vanilla performance in Rome Remastered is. And yes, I say yet, because as REX overhauls the engine, it does indeed finally allow for the destruction of the modding limits modders have been dealing with for years, including faction and region limits. The Rome campaign itself is good enough though. Honestly, there's something about the vanilla Rome campaign I find to be not necessarily better, but perhaps more charming than the one in Medieval 2. For some reason, I'm more eager to play a vanilla Rome campaign, and if you're anything like me, then I'm happy to say that you'll have an amazing time combining that classic feel with modern convenience. This of course extends to the battlefields, where the developers have gone to extra lengths to improve the lighting and shading of these 22-year-old environments. In short, it looks fantastic. You know, there's something that Rome, again, the very first 3D Total War, kind of nailed about daylight shading. Things look colorful and timeless in a good way, and neither overly bright nor weirdly dark. REX improves upon this foundation with even better lighting visuals. Just watch how Rome once more comes alive in different environments, with immersive moody fog and rain, or in sunny locations, making those colors and various shading effects truly shine. One thing I've noticed, which I haven't ever seen playing Rome, is that weather can change during a battle. Perhaps I just haven't noticed, I forgot, or I've been unlucky, but it only took me like 2 battles in my first campaign to encounter a siege battle which began sunny and cheerful, but which soon turned grey and moody. It was such a cool feeling, and whether REX fixed this or it made it happen, I don't know, but it allowed me to truly feel that difference, and for that I am grateful. Notice also how visible things like arrows have become, and because of the performance gains, how utterly smooth everything feels, including the tossing of pila and other projectiles. The amazing thing about REX being developed alongside M2EX is that they, for the most part, the vast most part by the way, feature the exact same innovations and improvements where possible. This means that Rome Extended also enjoys a new and improved battle camera, we can alt drag our units to move in position, which is such a quality of life upgrade, and we may deselect units simply by clicking somewhere on the field. On the UI side, depending on what you toggle, which is easily accessible in the battle menu, units can be seen through walls for extra oversight, range indicators like the modern ones for ranged units are possible, and by holding down the spacebar, we can not only see both your own and enemy units in green and red respectively, but we can even see the unit cards and unit types if you so wish, letting you know at a glance what to focus on if you need to. Again, I love that these options aren't just available, but are toggleable. It means that you can have the vanilla experience if you want, or update it to a more modern friendly way of playing, but in a way that stays true to both classic and newer Total War releases. I don't think I can express how amazing it is to finally experience Rome the way it feels like it was always meant to, and that REX, somehow, feels better to play than both the original release in 2004 and the remastered release in 2021. Just look at these scenes and tell me this isn't impressive. On the campaign map, it's now possible to culture convert buildings and even destroy buildings like farms, roads, and epic stone walls, which, believe it or not, was impossible in the original game. The project automatically unlocks the factions for you, so you don't have to defeat the others to unlock them, but if you did want that challenge to remain, you can change it yourself in the files. Even though the benefits are the same for all campaigns, Barbarian Invasion arguably benefits the most at the beginning of the game due to the size of your empires as Rome. But now, you can view your entire realm in one go, and I have to say it's a stunning look. Now for the big question. Yes, REX does technically work with mods, but the process can be a bit more finicky than with Medieval 2 depending on the mod. I won't go into detail about that stuff here, for that you're better off checking the REX Discord, but those grand mods you played long ago do indeed work, so you can play a campaign of both Rome Resurrectum and Rome Total Realism here, should you want to. Even Invasio Barbarorum, a mod that creates a new barbarian invasion scenario on a completely new map, does work, and along with Rome Resurrectum in particular perhaps, benefits so much from the increased zoom levels, which can reveal a lot more of the map at once. The fact that we have one project that, thanks to their engine essentially being the same, works for the two most classic titles in the series, namely Rome and Medieval 2, is just unbelievable. The project isn't even finished, actually I dare say it's not even close to finished, and still does so much for these games that you owe it to yourself to check it out if you've missed OG Rome even a little. As with M2EX for Medieval 2, Rome also benefits from an entirely new and high-res font, which makes it so much more legible and easy on the eyes. Perhaps the one thing that remains for the vanilla improved experience, so to speak, is that unit cards and building icons also get the upscale treatment. Because as it stands, those pixelated icons really do stand out as eyesores. Of course, in the grand scheme of things, they mean very little, but with everything else the eye sees being so good and sharp, and the image quality now being the way it is, I really hope this is an area we may see improvements in the future as well. For now though, if you'd like to check out REX, it is incredibly easy to install. Comes in both stable and test versions just like M2EX, and for more information, make sure to check out the project's Discord server, I have linked it down below. Modders are once again making dreams come true in the Total War space, but this is one dream I never thought would be fulfilled. Make sure to let me know your thoughts on REX in the comments, tell me what you've loved seeing and the features or improvements you wish to see in the future, and of course, leave a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Cheers!